Yellow lasers have been around for quite some time. However, the way of producing the wavelengths stemmed from a technology that had serious drawbacks and limitations. The use of organic materials as a laser medium to produce yellow caused the medium to degrade rapidly with significant costs in consumables. So yellow was always the wavelength of choice for treating, amongst other things, vascular lesions. But physicians really weren't prepared to pay cost of consumables if it could possibly be avoided. What ADVATx has been able to produce is a laser that produces a wavelength similar to that of dye lasers without the expensive consumables. So it's a true solid-state laser. So the next question, of course, is, well, how does it work? How did you manage to produce a solid-state yellow wavelength? Well, at the heart of the ADVATx is the pulse sync technology. Pulse sync was developed in Copenhagen by a team of physicists that realized that if you could synchronize precisely two wavelengths and get them through a nonlinear crystal, what the crystal would do is it would effectively combine the two energies of those photons to combine a third photon. So the resulting would be a combination of the two beams that entered that nonlinear crystal. So we start with two laser systems, one at 1064 and one at 1319. We synchronize them through a Q switch, and then we get them through the nonlinear crystal so that we can combine their energies to produce a third photon, which is at 589 in the yellow. Why yellow? The two wavelengths that have been used to treat superficial vascular lesions are green and yellow, now solid state, historically dye lasers. The benefits of yellow is that you do have very high absorption in hemoglobin, which is good to treat vascular lesions, but you also have much lower melanin absorption than you have in shorter wavelengths, namely green. And that means that you're going to be safer from a melanin standpoint and just as aggressive from a vascular standpoint. So essentially your therapeutic window is increased. That means that you have a similar efficacy that you would get with green lasers, but with a much greater safety profile. It's more gentle to use with less potential side effects. The ADVATx is unique in that it's the only system that uses the pulse sync technology. And the pulse sync technology gives us a very accurate wavelength at 589 nanometers. Other systems in the yellow spectrum typically have fairly fluctuating wavelengths because of their technology. They can be at 589 or they can be at 577 or 575. The difference of absorption between these various wavelengths is fairly significant. Not with the ADVATx. You get consistent 589 every single time. So we can treat all vascular lesions, pigmented lesions, and then of course we do not have to use pulse sync. We could simply have one of the wavelengths go through the system without synchronizing with another. And that's what we do with the 1319 wavelength. The 1319 wavelength can be obtained as a standalone wavelength. And that opens up the scope of procedures that can be performed by the ADVATx. We're now not simply talking about vascular and pigmented lesions, but we're also talking about things like inflammatory acne, acne scar reduction, and scar reduction in general. We can do some photo toning and skin toning. So the benefit of having that second wavelength really opens up the scope of possibilities that the physician can have with the ADVATx.